Good morning and welcome to another version of the Uwin Iwin Breakfast Show. Today I have a very special guest, our client Karl Socikwa from Sanlam Sky. He is the CEO of that business and we've been doing business with him for quite some time. He's also, I believe, a fellow Rhodes University graduate, and please help me welcome Karl to the show. I am David Sand, CEO of Uwin Iwin International. Karl, my first question to you is, I see from your LinkedIn bio that we were fellow students at Rhodes University. Did you know that I was also a student there?
At the same time?
I'm not sure it was the same time, but I was there from 84 to 88.
So there was an overlap. I arrived in 86 and I stayed on until 91. I did both my degrees there, the BCom and the LLB.
Brilliant. So Karl, how are you and your family doing in this lockdown period?
Well, David, it's quite an interesting period that we are all experiencing at the moment. The old adage, may you live in interesting times. In fact, it's a Chinese curse. But I think it obviously the period that we're all living in, there's a lot of danger around us with this pandemic, and a lot of uncertainty because there is no known cure at the moment. There's no vaccine, and our immune systems are just not capable of being able to handle and fight off this virus. So there's a lot of danger and uncertainty, and naturally, I think the first concern that people has is obviously with the health of their family. I do have a 94-year-old mother who I worry about quite a lot because she's, it's an advanced age, and she is in that age where, vulnerable. Just from a family point of view, I think we're all good, and the safety is the important and primary issue, obviously. And what we've found really over the past 3 weeks is that there's a lot of activity, which is qualitative type of activity. I mean, we're playing games. I'm finding myself cooking, as more often than I did in the past, and watching movies together and chatting about stuff. I think the leadership that President Ramaphosa and Minister Mkhize and the cabinet have shown, in the face of this pandemic, and the swift decision making and response has really been phenomenal. You're quite right. I mean, it makes one very proud to be a South African.
I'd really like to get your views on the value of incentive and loyalty programs in your business. You have a big financial services business that you run, not only in South Africa, but into Africa as well. Give us your perspective, please.
Yeah, thanks for the question, David. Insurance, as people usually say, is a grudge sort of purchase. And we are naturally, being an insurance company, we're naturally a selling organization. We need to get out there and really convince people that they need to take cover. So, the selling part of our business is a critical part of our business. And I think naturally, as human beings, incentives play a huge role as part of behavioral psychology. So to really have an important tool such as the incentive programs that we run, which are a critical business tool for us. For us, I think our business wouldn't really be able to survive and grow in the manner that it has been growing without having the type of incentive programs that we've benefited from Uwin Iwin.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. It's really, the rule structuring and the way the behavioral economics come to play in an incentive program is so much more important today as a science than the end reward, which might be a great travel trip or whatever other reward category it is. So, Karl, my next question would be, do you have any standout examples that you'd like to share with us that have really made a difference for you and your organization?
Look, from Uwin Iwin, we've got 4 properties there. I mean, in terms of the incentive programs, we've got Club Izukulu for our agency distribution team. We've also got the Chief Executive Challenge, which then kind of a select few from that Club Izukulu team are incentivized, higher, obviously, target levels that they need to meet. And that's where the spouses then and partners get to join that team. We've got the Grandmasters package for our broker team, and the most recent one, obviously, for our franchise partners as well, that we launched just about two or so years ago. I think for me, I mean, all of these are really proving to be of tremendous value for our business.
That's brilliant, and thanks for walking us through that. And the 2 things that you highlighted out there was, for me, is the one strategy you've got is about motivating and driving results across a number of different behaviors in your business. But the more elite category is about retention and making sure that your top guys stay with you and that you build a long-term journey with them. So obviously, Karl, we're in the lockdown period. I know a couple of those programs we've had to cancel or postpone in this current time, and as the lockdown affects international and regional travel. What's your take on post-COVID? Are we still going to be doing these things, these incentive travel programs? What changes may or may not be on the horizon for us to think about?
Post-COVID, well, look, it without a doubt, the world as we know it has changed. This is a fundamental reset of our economic system, as Johan Rupert put it the other day. It's an absolute reset. It's a whole new world that we're getting into, and we have to prepare ourselves for that. And sure, a lot of companies have been consumed in what's the immediate response. Now, we provide an essential financial service, so we've also had to make sure that there's business continuity. People calling in, they want to claim, we want to be there for them and be able to honor their claims. That's a vital part of any insurance company, very, very key. And then also start to think, David, about, how are we then going to re-engineer our businesses for this new world going forward? And that's what we're consumed with at the moment. We will continue to and remain a selling organization. We still need to be able to sell and provide our services. The way we do it will change, has to change. Naturally, we need now, we're working on ways to do this differently. How? Digitally. Digital enablement is going to be absolutely key. So within the context of this new world that we're going to be operating in, both in terms of how it impacts us as a selling business, our intermediaries, and also our clients, and them becoming a lot more technically savvy. What then does an incentive program, which, remember what I said, is a critical tool, will remain a critical tool. But now this is a different business. I see great opportunity.
Yeah, well, thanks for those real open and honest comments. As you say, the world is changing, and we certainly don't expect it to bounce back as it was. But it's good to know that the incentive tools are fundamental to people performance and behavior change and accelerating behavior change. And I think there's a lot of change management that's going to happen with existing people on existing models to change from something to something. And so incentives can accelerate that change process to drive different behaviors and adoption of different behaviors. I think what's important is that incentive agencies like ours and have that ability to adapt, be agile, and be comfortable to bring technologies to the table to clients like yourselves and say, listen, here are some ideas. let's look at this together. How do we pivot this into a new direction to meet your needs? And in fact, we've designed a digital app that in some segments of your business you are test piloting, and that in itself is already a start a year ago. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, this is a partnership, right? I mean, you don't just come and you drop a service and then you move on. This is a partnership, and it's a shared journey that we're on.
Well, thank you, Karl. We've so enjoyed having you on the show. You've given us a real in-depth answers.
Yeah. No, David, thank you for this opportunity. I think it really is very important, I think, in these times as well, to stay in touch, stay in contact, and certainly to have this opportunity just to bounce some ideas with you, and obviously to start to think about the new world and how we're going to work together.